Good morning, everybody. Welcome, September 18th. Thanks for tuning in to our live show. I know we were off last week. Last week, difficult week to process with the Charlie Kirk assassination and September 11th. Our hearts go out to all the families involved. And that being said, if you are struggling with grief or struggling with something, you can always feel free to reach out on a non-business matter. Just due to the nature of our business, we help a lot of people going through a lot of life changes, a lot of grief in some cases. Um, and so we kind of accustomed to being there for our clients on a more personal level. So if you're struggling with this or something or something else of this nature, we welcome you to reach out to us, and we're always here for you, just on a more personal level, not just a business level. Our website, we're pretty easy to get in touch with, but you can always just schedule a call or just send us a text, and happy to jump on the line with you. So that being said, we're so excited to present you this today. Sometimes if you're going through a tough time or if you're struggling with something, it makes sense to process it and just go through those emotions. But what could also help is just taking care of a project and taking action. At least in my case too, I find if I start working on something, I start to feel a little bit better. And This will be like a little good project for all of us just to stay safe online. We're going to give you some tools, an action plan, and also a maintenance plan just so you can stay safe online with technology and protect yourself against phishing and other scams. So, why staying safe online matters. Cyber crimes are on the rise, especially with seniors. We see them all the time, very common, and very easy now to fall for scams. So, the common risk factor seniors face is a lot of times seniors are specifically targeted for their age. So, what we're going to do is we're going to give you some tools to say safeguarded against that. It's a little bit of a work ethic in some cases to set these up. But once you do, I promise you, you'll feel a lot better. And a lot of times you just have to set this up once and then you're done. So, the first tool we have, and my personal favorite, is to use a password manager. So the analogy to think of it is you have one password, right? And it's kind of like having a safe for all your keys. So a lot of times, like me personally, I use a password manager. I don't know a lot of my passwords. My passwords are very robust and pretty much uncrackable, but I do know my master password. And that's exactly what a password manager does. You have one password, it's some sort of software program. We'll give you some good tips on how to get this started. But you have one password, and then within this password manager, you input all your passwords. So basically, the password manager too will generate hard to predict and hard to crack passwords for your other accounts. The biggest mistake we see people make online is just having the same password for every website. So that's very easy. Hackers can get into a website, they can see your email address, they can see your password, and then they just put two and two together. They can start looking you up, try and find your other accounts, and then get in that way. So very important just to have this password manager set up, and very important to have different passwords for every website. And really, there's so many passwords these days. We have a joke in our family, not another password. But once you have that password manager set up, you can just have multiple different passwords for different websites. So a couple good software recommendations. We like 1Password a lot, especially if you have a business. 1Password allows you to share passwords with different people. You can even share passwords with different members of your family or different users. So it's a great piece of software. It's a paid software. You have to pay for it, but well worth the investment just to stay safe online. If you're looking for a free option, there's another one called Bitwarden. So that will get the job done. And I think they cap you at the amount of passwords you use. So they get everyone to sign up for free. And the more passwords you put in, they'll start charging you up to a certain point. And then, of course, if you're an Apple user, Apple earlier this year, or maybe last year, released their own password manager. So Apple Passwords is a great tool. If you're an Apple user, you can set 1Password and just use that as a password manager. Now, how do you do this, and what's the best way of doing it? The easiest way to get started with this is you're going along to different websites you use, whether it be Gmail, whether it be your medical account, Amazon, things of that nature. Start changing your password one by one. And then once you change it, plug your password into the password manager. That's the easiest way to do it. It's just too much if you just do it all at once. You may want to batch some at a time. That's another way of doing it, like 5, 10 sites at a time. But I find as you're just going throughout your day, just change your passwords and then just plug it into the chat password manager. So great tool to use. We know someone too that keeps all their passwords in their phone. So obviously very insecure. If you lose your phone, all your passwords are exposed. So very important just to stay safe from that standpoint. Use a password manager. There's free options. There's paid options too. It's well worth the time and the investment. Step 2, and this is an annoying one, use two-factor authentication. So the two-factor authentication, you've seen it before. Sites will make you text you a code to get into a site. Kind of annoying, sometimes, like yesterday, for example, for me, the code didn't come and I couldn't get into the website. But it's very, very important just to stay safe from that standpoint. So a two-factor authentication, the analogy we use is it's like having a deadbolt to your front door. So it's an extra lock to have, and it's just an extra level of security. So particularly with financial websites, it's very important to have that two-factor authentication in place. So when you're using the computer, always keep your phone nearby, your iPad too. Sometimes Gmail or different Google sites will send notifications to your different devices, but well worth the investment to get this set up. The easiest way to do so is once you're using sites one by one, just see if there's two-factor authentication and just get set up from that standpoint. Tip 3, protect your email and phone number. A great tool we use is called Fastmail, and a Fastmail will generate kind of like mock email addresses that just kind of shields your main email address. This goes back to the first principle where pretty much if a hacker gets into a website, hacks your information, they'll see your email and password, which everyone uses. Most people use the same email for multiple websites. So definitely switch up your email address. Apple too came up with another solution where they can create like false email addresses, and all the false email addresses will circulate to your main email. But this way, if someone hacks into your information ends up on the dark web. They can just see like a dummy email address and not your real email address. So protect that email address at all costs. Use that syndicated email address that syndicates to your main address. Now for your phone number, another great tool to use if you want to protect your main phone number is Google Voice. Google Voice will give you an additional phone number for free. So if you want to sign up for a site, you can use your Google Voice number to shield your main number. So very important. You can download the Google Voice app on your phone so you can still get your phone calls. And you can also text message on Google Voice. So it's kind of like another additional line where you can kind of protect yourself from your main line. So another way to protect your phone number too is not to answer incoming calls, particularly incoming texts that are very vague. We get them all the time as business owners. Could be like vague text messages like, did you see me this week? I'm not sure if I know you. Do you remember this time here and there? These are basically phishing scams. There's a fascinating article in the Wall Street Journal how and it goes to detail, like kind of like behind the scenes, how detailed some of these scams are. A lot of these people are overseas. They human traffic people, kidnap them, give them scripts to use, and have them work around the clock, just messaging seniors. So you could be on a targeted list, and just don't reach out or respond to a text that's very vague. You may not even ask, who are you? Just if it's important, they're likely going to just message you. So just be careful about answering any text message you don't know. And then always save phone numbers that you know, always save phone numbers into your phone that you frequently call or frequently call you. And this will minimize just scammers calling your phone or picking up and dealing with a scammer. Another good tip too, while we're at that, is to add yourself to the do not call list. You can Google do not call or go to donotcall.gov, and you can add yourself to that list to kind of protect yourself. But there's a lot of companies overseas that can just get around that. But just another layer of protection, and it just can't hurt. Nobody wants solicitation calls anyway. Tip number 4, going through this quickly. This will be a quick episode, lots of action. Install security software and keep devices updated. So updates are critical, especially updates a lot of times are made for a reason. So if a hacker gets into a software or a certain type of app, a lot of times the software will counteract that by coming up with an update. So make sure to keep all your devices updated. Another good antivirus software is Norton. I use LifeLock, and then back up everything to a computer drive. A good little maintenance plan, which we'll go into later in the presentation, is to back up your computer on a weekly basis with all your devices and information. So in case you lose everything, you can easily get it back. But Norton, LifeLock is another good one. They'll give you alerts if your information ends up on the dark web. The dark web is when someone publishes your information online, your email address, your password. And for a small monthly fee, you could stay protected. Another good tool is a VPN, which hides your IP address to, again, prevent hackers, especially if you're in a public place. If you like going to the library or use a public Wi-Fi, a VPN is very important. Now, tip number 5, final tip, is practice smart browsing habits. Always use the prefix HTTPS, which is secure site. The rule of thumb is if it's too good to be true, it probably is. We recently fell victim to a scam where we were registering something on one of our LLCs, and the website was like perfect. It looked perfect. We were rushing through it. We got to the end, and then they charged a fee for a service that was free and provided by the government. So whenever someone charges you for something, just take a few seconds and do a quick search. ChatGPT is a great resource for that. You can type in and say, hey, is this free? Will the government charge for this? Is there a charge for this? And basically safeguard yourself from that standpoint. So practice safe browsing habits. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. And always double check to make sure that and double check the validity of the website. This website we were on just looked perfectly like a government website. So always double check there and always stay safe. And community too is a good thing to lean on. If you have a question for us, you can always just reach out to us. If you're signing up for a certain service, feel free to send us the website. We can't give you official legal, tax, or financial advice, but we're happy to look into the site for you just to make sure it's legitimate. Extra bonus tips. Here's some bonus tips. Don't overshare birthday, grandkids' names, etc. Those could be password clues. If you're using the password manager, you should be safeguarded from that standpoint. For your Wi-Fi, don't use the default password. Sometimes this is kind of reaching here, but someone could take a picture of your Wi-Fi password, log into it when they're at your house. You can put your Wi-Fi password in a safe place and change it. And then there's a couple resources we have for you. The Fraud Watch Network hotline is 877-908-3360. And if you want to report a scam, you can go to reportfraud.ftc.gov. So as we wrap up, we're just going to go through the main tips and how to tie this together in a habit. We recommend checking your bills on a weekly basis. We always talk about getting the baseline of how much you're spending, what your net worth is. And we recommend doing this on a weekly basis. One, just to check everything. That's another key tip, is to check your credit cards for any charges. But check your credit cards, log all your expenses. It becomes too much to do it on a monthly basis, so we definitely recommend doing it on a weekly basis. It's too easy to miss something on a grander scale on a monthly side. So check in every week and just make sure that everything is up to date. Start the habit of changing your passwords, putting your passwords in a password manager. Change your main password once a quarter. And always just stay safe. You can always feel free to reach out to us with any advice. There's scams out there all the time. Add yourself to the do not call list. But as a maintenance perspective, also back up your computer on a weekly basis. I have a calendar reminder that just reminds me to do that. Check all the bills, check everything to make sure my card's not being overcharged, that there's no suspicious charges. It's kind of a work ethic, but it's worth it to stay safe at the end of the day. If you have questions or if you want a copy of kind of like a guide to stay safe online, we're happy to put one together for you. Just write copy in the comments or send us a direct message. Now, kind of like a new scenario here, a new feature. We're going to go over some scenario-based questions. Usually we do a Q&A. Here's the first scenario. So you get an email that looks like it's from Amazon. It says, your order is delayed. Click here to confirm payment. What do you do? So the answer is you don't click. Go to Amazon.com directly by typing in Amazon.com into your browser or open up the Amazon app. Scammers will sometimes use fake emails and get into your accounts. Very important. Scenario number 2, you receive a phone call saying, "This is the Social Security office. We need your Social Security number to verify your account." What do? Hang up. The Social Security Administration will never ask you for your Social Security number. And if in doubt, call the office number directly or report this number to one of the hotlines. Scenario 3, your computer shows a pop up saying, "Warning, your device is infected. Call this number immediately." What do? Close the pop up and don't call the number. It's a tech support scam. Run your antivirus software or ask a trusted family member for help. We used to get those all the time. I'm dating myself, but like back in the Windows days, the older Windows days, I still remember them well, but apparently they're still out there. Scenario number 4, a new Facebook friend you don't know sends you a message saying they're lonely and they want to chat. What's the safest response? Safe response is do not engage. Many romance scams start this way. Ignore, block, or delete the request. We get them frequently, and unfortunately, it goes to psychology. It's called pig slaughtering. That's the name for it, meaning like someone will get you hooked, get you emotionally involved, and then they'll start asking for bank account, bank trades. You'll be surprised. Even the strongest of people can fall for these scams and fall victim to their emotions. And the reason it's called pig slaughtering is they'll just take everything, every last penny you have. So just don't engage. There's a safer way to meet people, and just don't. I would just not engage with anybody you don't know, especially online. And scenario 5, we'll wrap up with this one. You're at a coffee shop and you want to check your bank account on free Wi-Fi. Should you do it? The answer is no. Public Wi-Fi, people can log onto it and get your IP address. This goes back to the earlier part of our conversation where we're talking about a VPN. But as a general rule of thumb, check your bank accounts and your financial accounts at home. It can wait in most cases, and try to keep your browsing in public as minimal as possible. So that will do it. Hope this helps. Again, hope everyone's doing okay. Feel free to reach out with any questions. If you want to start doing some research on our site is over55nj.homes, where you can bring up all the 55 plus community listings. We're constantly adding to this, and we're constantly listening to your feedback. So if you have any questions at all, if you have a community or a topic that you want covered, feel free to reach out to us. We're a direct message away. Our email address is also over55nj@gmail.com, where you can send us a quick email. And we look forward to hearing from you. Again, we want to thank you for being part of our community. This past week, we crossed 700 members, which is a huge milestone. So we appreciate each and every one of you. We want to make sure this group is serving you. So don't hesitate to reach out. Give us some recommendations. Give us some topics you want considered. And we're here to serve you. So let us know if you have any questions. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk soon. Thanks so much for watching.